this energy level here puts your cells and your DNA, as well as your whole energetic system, into a much more optimal state. It basically kind of like supports you to be in this optimal state. And with that, it activates your self-healing powers that the body naturally has. It's just that, we kind of forgot about that, and then we have all these stressors going on, and that's why we just keep fighting diseases and stressors and all that, and don't really get into the real self-healing anymore. So that's what the energy does. It supports you in doing that, and that can be quite quick in some cases, right?
We were chatting for a few minutes before you came on, and everyone's really excited. I know that we've talked a little bit before about just what you guys do and what all these tools are, but people are really excited about these blocks because we've been teasing them for the past couple episodes about the blocks, and then also how we use it. So if you want to dive in, I had already said food, water, clothing, jewelry, containers, us. Let's dive in. I obviously don't have the two blocks side by side, and I'd love for you to explain why we don't do that. Oh, perfect. So you've got your quantum, I've got my infinity. Let's dive in. Let's explain to them what this is and what does it mean that it's a quantum energy generator. And what is it doing? So let's dive in.
Yes, absolutely. So just as a refresh for people, so we've been able to create a technology that can concentrate pure quantum energy in a specific location. So in this case here, you're looking at the quantum block. That's the extension of our technology, and you see the Infinity Bloc behind Serena there that has 3 plates on the top and the bottom. It's stronger.
It's quite heavy.
Yep, it's stronger, but the principle is pretty much the same. And so quantum energy is everywhere, literally, and it's also part of our system, of course. In every cell, we have a quantum energy field. Now, the big trick is that, and we need quantum energy to exist, frankly. If that wasn't there, we wouldn't exist here in the physical. So what needs to happen in order to create a technology like that, where you can harness and use the quantum energy field, you need to concentrate it in an unheard of manner. And that's what we've been able to do with our technology. And you find that here in the quantum block, for example, that there's a concentrated quantum energy field inside, and it actually can be measured by consciousness levels. That's one way of measuring it, and then you can measure the outcomes of what it actually does. But so then that changes everything, because the quantum energy is so concentrated, and healers, like absolutely amazing healers, they're able to also tap into the quantum energy field. Now, not everybody that talks about quantum healing and all that is an amazing healer. I really want to say that. I would say that probably 90% of them are, they're doing some experiments themselves, and they're noticing, I can get more energy, but that doesn't mean they're skilled by any means. So if I talk really about the really skilled healers, the top 20, top 30, they can access these fields, and they can move a lot of that energy into a specific location, as an example. And it's quite a job. You really work with that. So the beauty is now that we give tools to everyone, or offer that you don't have to have these amazing healing skills in order to tap into the quantum energy field and to be able to leverage for you. Because here it is. You literally can just hold your hand in there. You don't need to learn how to access it, pull it here, put it in front of you, and then leverage. No, it's here, and it's not going away. It's in between the plates. So that's the first thing. Then, how do we use it? What can we do with it? I start always with Go ahead, ask anytime. Interrupt me
Yes.
also at any
Okay.
time.
Yes, yes, no. So I just want to summarize really quick, just like in sections so people understand. Philipp and his team, they've worked with and collaborated with physicists and world-renowned healers to create these tools. So what he was saying that I would really like to sort of punctuate is that there are healers and everyone sort of has different levels, different access levels, and they've worked with the most profound, prominent, powerful healers in the world to help create and put that energy, that which they can access, into these tools. So, which makes it more accessible to us because not all of us have access to these people, and that could just even be a calendar thing. It's just there's only so much access, so much time, and so they've created these tools so that we have the same accessibility to that level of quantum energy and that level of healing because by these tools that they've designed. Before we go into how we can use them, is there any way that you can sort of explain, because we've had several questions, for people that they may or may not have watched the first, couple series, but how are they able to put this energy at that level into this field between the plates? We could just go over that again real quick, just because there are people on here right now that are like, how does this work? What's it doing? What's its purpose? And there's a lot of hows. So
Yeah. So the way we've created this, that is proprietary. So that's something we cannot share, but I can share that I don't think there's any healer out there that could just easily create something like that. It's impossible. It's not impossible because we've obviously proven it is possible, but it takes amazing skills and it takes a lot of coordination and a lot of different aspects in order to do that. So that is really that was an art and a long development, and it's very unique.
right.
Now, I can maybe talk a little bit more about, we leave that topic again, but how we create frequencies. If it's an etheric frequency, for example,
Mm-hmm.
that Roman Hafner, some people have heard that name before. They call him the Wunderkind in Europe. Like, he was born with the ability to see each and every frequency and vibration, and he couldn't see matter the way that we see matter because he just saw the frequencies and the vibration and the heat waves. But the amazing thing about that is that he can isolate each and every frequency that exists and combine them and move them, and all
Yeah.
of them. Like, you could go to your living room or just here, there's a little angel I see in the back, for example. I could say, hey, could you go
Yeah.
grab that real quick, show it to us, and then put it back? It's very easy for you to do, right? But if I
Right.
told you, well, there's a vitamin C frequency somewhere in the space around you, could you isolate that from all the other ones and then put it into a glass of water? Be a pretty hard task, especially for the ones that are not skilled and used to be doing that. For him,
Right.
it's as easy as you picking up that little angel and holding it,
Right.
because it's so easy for him. Like, but that's the
Mm-hmm.
analogy. So if we need a frequency for someone that has a lot of panic attacks or anxiety and stress, he can see exactly, okay, what is the frequency that is needed that can balance that situation, because he can see energy and frequency wise what's off in
Mm-hmm.
someone if there's all this stress, and then he can create this counter signal, if you will, and then make it available. And with our technology, then we can put it into products. That's in
Yeah.
essence how it works if we use etheric frequencies. Of course, we use molecular frequencies as well that come from real substances like a healing plant. But yeah, those things are possible with this. So we're jumping ahead a little bit.
Yeah, but no, someone just said this is a perfect explanation. Thank you. So thank you for that. I always like to kind of jump back and give another quick summary explanation for anyone, because there's a couple
Yes.
thousand people online who missed the other ones. And it's still new for some people's uh, um, understanding. So really helpful. So yeah, let's talk about the different ways you can use it, because we have people that are ready to just get one right now. And I had sort of prefaced right before you came on to say, okay, well, it's sort of a step-by-step process. So you might want to get a quantum block before you get the Infinity, and there's a reason why, or maybe even the Mini. So if you could dive into that, that'd be great.
Yes. So how can you use it? First of all, it's very simple to use it. So yes, you hear quantum and all of that, and that may sound unfamiliar, and you think, well, maybe I need to be an expert or I need to program something. No, it's very simple. It's very, very simple, and every 5 or 6 year old can already use a quantum block. So I think that's the first thing. So very simple. The second thing is, okay, what can we do with that? You can put this in your home or in your office and don't do anything with it. Just have it sit there, and then it already works for you. Because what it does, just on its own, just by sitting there, it harmonizes and neutralizes all potentially harmful frequencies, which include EMF. EMF is, what we're all familiar with, right? We know what that is, and microwaves and things like that. But there's a lot of other frequencies that are potentially harmful that we don't really talk about much, and we don't need to talk about them much. But they still exist, and so I don't want to ignore them. And the quantum block and the Infinity Bloc, they harmonize all of these. And the analogy for that is, put this away for a second here. So the analogy is, okay, if there's someone next to me that keeps hitting me in the head, doesn't need to be hard, but keeps doing this, and it hurts. And if it's a little stronger, then it hurts even more, and it keeps doing that. And that would be the 5G signal as an example. Now that's the analogy. Okay, it's hitting you, it's hitting you. Now, if you put a quantum block in your home or Infinity Bloc, what happens then basically is that in the field around you, in this case, in the whole house, because it would cover a whole home, the field harmonizes the impact of this. So this 5G signal that used to hit me really hard is now being transformed into a nice massage or acupressure, something like that, that's actually beneficial. It's not only just a touch, it's something that's actually even beneficial. That's how I can explain on an energetic level how that works. And it can be measured. It can easily be measured with a lot of different tools, which we've done. So basically a complete energetic feng shui for your home.
So I'm going to interrupt real quick. So not only does it harmonize and neutralize, it almost, transmutes something that is maybe harmful for you into an energy or frequency that's actually beneficial for you. So
yes,
would that be fair to say?
Yes, you could say it that way. Another way that it could be, and we don't know 100%, but it neutralizes 100% of these EMFs, and at the same time, its power is so strong that you, on top of that, get the benefit of this pure quantum energy, so that you're in a state that is even stronger despite all the Wi-Fi. Even if you're in an electric car and you have your tablet and your cell phone all going on together, it doesn't matter. If you have this thing, then your energy level and biosystem levels will still be a near optimal state despite these stressors.
Yeah, no, and that's why I carry my Mini around everywhere, you guys, everywhere I go. I talk about that every single time, but it really is true. It's like my non-negotiable. And you know what's really funny? I know this is sidebar before we go into the rest of what you're saying. It never triggers when you're going through security at the airport. I wear my necklace. I have my cards, which we'll dive into more in a later episode. If you guys have looked on the site, you'll know what cards I'm talking about. And my Mini block, it's always in my carry-on. It always goes through, no problem whatsoever. So just to, even though it's metal and you would think it would set things off, it doesn't. So, okay, can you show the Mini? Actually, because I have this here, I can't bring the Mini in because we sort of keep them, the proximity matters a little bit. I can show you the Mini. I show a lot in the last 2 episodes that we had, and right now it's sitting in my car. But it looks just like this. It's just smaller, and it's also on the website, and it's my little buddy. So
And the how it's called on the website is travel block or travel and car block in case you look for it. And it's that one is in the inside, it's as strong as the Infinity Bloc that Serena has there. This one is bigger, but it is weaker. But it is weaker for a reason. And now we can come into
Yes.
the other use cases. So first of all, what you can do with all of these is you can put something inside and you can charge it. And
Yeah.
it certainly can be your hands or your feet or whatever. Even my wife can put her head in there, for example, and some other people can too. I can't. Doesn't really fit. But
I actually haven't tried that yet. I'm gonna do this after we get off. I have not tried.
Yep. So actually, it's a funny story. We have this bigger one right here at our place, and when we had this birthday party, that we had I in there and several others, and most of them in between were like laying down, had their full head and everything in there for a while, and then we did before and after tests, and it was a kind of a funny thing. So,
Oh,
but
how
anyway,
cool.
so
That's
you can
so
put
cool.
yeah, and you can put your hands in there as an example. And so what does that do? You can, if you look at dark field microscopy or live blood analysis, so you look at your blood, and as you're putting your hands in, your blood already starts to reorganize and to optimize, and it literally optimizes your blood under the dark field microscope in 100% of the cases in a very significant way. So that's one of the things it does that you can measure. It improves the heart rate variability and various
Yeah.
other things. But on an energetic
And
level,
I
what
do
it
that.
does,
I do
yeah,
that. We do it for the dogs too. I'm going to show you that Gizmo. You're making your appearance. So Gizmo, here's Gizmo. He had a little bit of a problem with his right leg. He was limping on all three for a few weeks, and we started putting his right leg into the block for just a minute and a half or so. Anyway, he's back on all fours, and he's doing quite
that's
well.
good to hear. That's good to hear. So obviously, while miracles can happen, and it seems like magic and miracle-like a little bit, all of this, but um, doesn't mean that a miracle literally happens, right? But what happens is that this energy level here puts your cells and your DNA, as well as your whole energetic system, into a much more optimal state. It basically kind of like supports you to be in this optimal state. And with that, it activates your self-healing powers that the body naturally has. It's just that, we kind of forgot about that. And then we have all these stressors going on. And that's why we just keep fighting and fighting diseases and stressors and all that, and don't really get into the real self-healing anymore. So that's what the energy does. It supports you in doing that, and that can be quite quick in some cases, right?
Yeah.
And so you can put these, your hands in there, etc., all of that. Again, can use it for your pets, but then you can also charge your groceries, your water, for example, your raspberries, your nuts, whatever it is. And what does it do with water? So it structures water and it optimizes water. So the Emoto Institute in Japan, that probably a lot of people have heard of, Emoto was the one that was able to prove you can change the energy in water, and they found a way to visualize it. They froze water and they were able to show crystals in the water. And then so they were able to show, when they tested the quantum block specifically, that within 3 minutes, the quantum block was able to optimize water faster than anything they've ever seen before. So within 3 minutes, out of one beautiful crystal, they had 5 beautiful crystals in the water. And for the Emoto Institute, that was extremely profound. I must admit that it sounded great to me that, suddenly there were 5 beautiful crystals and not just one, like in the control water. But I didn't know, because I don't live in this emotive world, right? I don't really
Right.
know what that all means. They told me it's amazing, it's super fast. I haven't seen anything like that. But the most amazing statement was then that we're so blown away by this functionality and how it works that we would like to bring these products to Japan. And so now the Emoto Institute, and I just had a Zoom call with them a couple of days ago, Q&A session. They're importing our products, the Leela Quantum products, now to Japan exclusively to make them available there. And they haven't done that with any other product.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Congratulations. I mean, I'm hearing this for the first time as well. It's so exciting. So exciting.
Yep.
We have some questions about more information. I think Mimi Hummingbird, I'm sorry, I don't know your full name, your handle name. Definitely go at the pinned comment here. You'll see Philipp's, well, the company's Instagram account. So that's Leela Quantum, and go follow there. Go to their website. So much information is on there. Their YouTube, and very importantly, their Telegram group. There's so much information constantly streaming in from the community there. And then we already have a couple videos that we've done that you can go and watch that as well. And you'll just have sort of soak it all in, and you'll have a better understanding. Some of the things you sort of have to hear a couple of times because it's so I don't want to say new exactly, but it's not commonly known, and so it just helps when you kind of hear it over and over, and you can go to the site and you can explore and see what this is all about, and then you'll be able to reference from my chat here. So I highly encourage that. That's so awesome, Philip. And so I know I'm interrupting you about the different ways we can use it. We can go back to that. I do want to share that again, that I've put my hands and my feet in the Infinity. I think people have asked, like, how long, how do you put it in? I think that kind of varies from person to person, and a lot of the information is in the Telegram group, so definitely join there. But I didn't know if you had any minutes off the top of your head that are like sort of a safe place to start from, in terms of how to use the block that way with our physical body.
Yeah. So in general, it's safe anyway. Even if you were to fall asleep the first time and you have your hands, especially in the quantum block, you'll be okay, because it's not super strong. It is very strong compared to anything else out there, but it's not that it's completely going to be overwhelming you. But it can start detox effects, and it can, at some point, if we're talking the Infinity Bloc specifically, and you've never worked with energy, then it can be at some point somewhat stressful to the nervous system if you just leave your hand in there for too long. But the beauty is that we will know that, like, we will have this inner impulse, like, okay, it's enough time now, so we'll take it out. So as soon as you feel like, okay, it's about time, that's what you do. But those are really that's the most that can happen, right? So there's really nothing to be really worried about that could happen. But we do want to say, like, maybe 5 to 10 minutes at first at a time in the quantum block, and then you can even increase that significantly. Already in the next week, you could be at 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes in the evening in the quantum block. With the Infinity Bloc, I would say not more than 5 minutes at a time in the beginning. And then you can also increase that, no problem. Like, nowadays I could sleep 24 hours. Probably I can't sleep 24 hours, but maybe 8 hours I could sleep in the Infinity Bloc. It would be fine, because you, at some point, you get used to that level of energy. But in the beginning, just be mindful with it. And we always tell people, this is not like a TV that you buy and it has a manual. It tells you exactly each and every time, this is the button you press, and you press it for a half a second. No, this has to do with yourself, because everyone has their own physiological system and energy system and story and all of that. So we encourage people to feel. Feel inside, because the answer. If I put my hands in there, and at some point I'll know, okay, it's enough now. And
Yeah.
that's how you get more access to your inner knowing too. So I think it's a
Yes.
beautiful way actually to practice that.
Yes, agreed. You know, and we so often talk about it here in my community, and you and and it's really just about empowering the self. You know, so when you're in that space where you know, okay, I'm going to receive healing and support right now from the block, you know, drop in and tune into you, and if you're not yet, if you're not, sort of like reacquaint yourself with yourself. You know, reacquaint yourself with your intuition, your inner voice, and pay attention to the way your physical body speaking to you, because there will be little indicators that your body will say, okay, that's enough, you know, and then honor that, and then and don't get attached to any sort of number. Oh, Philip said 5 minutes. Oh, someone else in the Telegram group did it for 30. Just connect and honor whatever comes through to you, for you, from you. And that's just, as he said, is a great practice to kind of strengthen that communication that you have within yourself. So, okay. So yeah, I love that. Thank you. Love that reminder for everyone. So, you know, you said anything. We talked about the water, food. You know, I had mentioned that you can even put your coffee mug in there, or I like to put a container that I use, a small one that I use for travel. That way, anytime I'm traveling, I can put water into that. That might be more convenient. And that's what I do too. So, you know, any other examples that, I mean, pretty much anything, but just really common, accessible examples for people other than like food, water, yourself, jewelry.
Jewelry is an amazing example because you can upgrade the vibration and the energetic state of each product by putting it inside.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so and with metals specifically, they hold quantum energy very well, and they transmit it also. So meaning that, if you have a ring or a necklace, whatever, if you charge that, then it has a higher vibration, and it also transmits quantum energy to you, which will then support your system even more.
Yeah.
And you can do it with silverware, and you can do even funny tests, right? So you have, let's say you have some neighbors over, every other week for dinner, and now suddenly you put the silverware there and the glasses that you all charged in here, and I bet you they'll say this looks more beautiful. Or if you ask them, wow, this looks beautiful today. And
Mm-hmm.
if they are not into energy at all, then they'd say, this looks more beautiful, because that's how they perceive it, as more beauty.
Yeah.
But what it actually is, it's vibrating at a much higher level, and healers and seers can see that. But you
Yeah.
know people that can't see that, they would at least see the more beauty in this. So you can do that.
Yeah.
There's lots of different products you can put in your cell phones, obviously, and laptops and iPads. Those are very good examples that you would want to put in here, because you can change around the dynamics of how the EMFs are actually transmitted from these devices just with those. So I must say, everything you charge in here is permanent, except with, which is great because it holds the charge, except
Mm-hmm.
with electronics, like a cell phone, for example. We do recommend to recharge it every 3 to 4 months, just in case, because it constantly has this EMF connection, and there's something to that pulse. Yeah.
You know, thank you for bringing that up, because that was a question, and I think it might have been based on our first couple lives, whether or not we can put electronics in there, because there's so many different components to an electronic device. So whether it's like the Aura Ring, I'm not promoting Aura Ring, I'm just using it as an example because it's something that people wear, or like an Apple Watch, or any kind of like an electronic wearable. Even when you mentioned the cell phone, everything, I didn't realize, not only did I not realize there's a lot of questions about it, that we could put that in the blocks as well, because there's so many different components. There's metal, there's plastic, and that's all okay, all in at once to put in. Okay. Should they be turned off? Is it all right if they're on?
It doesn't matter. You can leave it on. It's really, it doesn't matter. And for example, these here, the AirPods,
Yeah.
AirPods are obviously come in very handy, and they're very
Right.
convenient to use, but at the same
Yeah.
time we know that they transmit a
Yeah.
significant amount of EMFs, and therefore they're actually quite harmful if you use them, especially because it's, where they are. Our ears are
Yeah. They're,
very,
yeah.
very sensitive, and it's right. Here's our brain. It's like everything is here, so it's not actually a good spot for this targeted, super strong radiation. But if you put these in the quantum block, then you can basically change the energetic nature of it, and you'll have AirPods now like me.
Hmm.
It's no big deal. It's no problem. So I can have
Yeah.
the benefit but not the disadvantage.
That's amazing. So a few questions are popping up for me, and then also on my other phone with the community app. Can you put them all in at the same time? Meaning, can someone put their cell phone, their AirPods, their Apple Watch, their whatever else? Can they put it all in at the same time? And I know the answer, but I'm gonna let you answer that so people really understand.
So in this case, you could, because it's on a physical level, you're worried about the functionality of the product and that you just want to optimize it, and that's what you'll do with that. However, just in general, a good practice is to put one thing in at a time, because what you can also do, that's another use case, you can copy each and every frequency in the quantum block and copy it into another object. So I give you now two examples. The first is, I'd take a piece of a healing plant and a glass of water or a silver coin, and put it all inside the quantum block. And after 45 to 60 seconds already, the frequency of the healing plant will be in the water, so I can drink it with that
Mhm.
frequency. And it's going to be permanently imprinted in the silver coin, or it could be a quarter, it could be aluminum card. It doesn't matter. So, and then you will have it there, and you can leverage the frequency. That's what happens. Now, the other example, if you put your phone in there and this, and then your iPad, you're commingling these frequencies, but it doesn't really matter, because it really doesn't matter much. But if you just don't want to do that, then put them in at the same time, or put them in together with, some healing plant that you always want to be leveraging. Then you have a healing plant frequency here in your ear as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's so much. There's so much to even play with, and I'm learning more. As you can see, I'm learning more all the time and I travel so much, and I'm thinking, well, I didn't realize with all these bones and everything in there. So that's happening as soon as we get off the live. I just didn't realize with the iPads, and so that's awesome. Someone had asked actually a few questions that were asked that were similar, where it's just some people already have EMF neutralizing or harmonizing type of devices, small devices, or say wearables, jewelry, and such. And they asked what would happen if they put those things into the blocks.
Yeah, usually, I mean, and there's a lot of different things, right? And some of those things actually do not work. Like, for example,
Mm-hmm.
these little stickers that you can buy on Amazon and elsewhere that you put on
Yes.
the back of your cell phone. Sorry, guys, those don't work. And I know this very well because, first of all, I used to work at T-Mobile, so I know a little bit about EMFs. And then, second of all, we were actually interested in maybe finding a sticker that actually works and then optimize it with our technology, and
Mm-hmm.
partner up with these people, right? Because that's
Mm-hmm.
a very convenient way. But we tested 12 different kinds, and actually we didn't
Wow.
test them. We had the EGIF Institute in Europe test them, and none of
Uh-huh.
them worked even a little bit. So maybe there
Wow.
is one out there that we didn't see, but those really, there's nothing. And it's interesting because they even promise that they even block in many cases radiation, but none
Yeah.
of that is true. And so that's
Wow.
that's that's quite crazy. And yeah, what so those we can already say, okay, just don't even worry about it. Then you
Yeah.
have several other things that actually do work in harmonizing EMF
Mm-hmm.
or in blocking EMF. But blocking EMF, it usually would have to be silver, like the
Yeah.
silver fabrics we have in our clothing products. But The other harmonizing products usually don't work with pure quantum energy, and even if they did, it's no problem to put them in, because the Quantum Bloc and Infinity Bloc so far have optimized every product, so you could only make it better. There wouldn't be any interference, and it wouldn't get any worse. So that's pretty much the answer to that.
Yeah, so thank you for that, because we definitely had a bunch of questions. You know, people have been loading up and buying these type of things for themselves, their animals, you know, their devices, and it's good to know that A, if they don't work, they can do something about it now with these tools, and B, if it does, even in a small way, all that's going to happen is that the blocks will optimize what those other products may may do. So, okay, so great. Thank you for that, because I had a whole bunch of questions about that. Okay, so you did mention some of the other tools and products that you have that we'll dive into more in the next couple episodes here. Is there anything that you discovered recently about the blocks that's helpful, that you'd like to share, besides, you know, the giant one that you have at your house that I missed out on that I could play in?
Yes.
Like, is there something else? Because I feel like we're always learning new ways to use the blocks, which is incredible.
Yes, so two things. One that we didn't learn recently, but we've known it from the very beginning, but I haven't shared it yet. That is that you can put your picture inside here and actually also get the benefit of the more quantum energy that way. And you can, let's say, put a picture even inside of, let's say, a friend that doesn't feel so good. And even if the friend is currently in Africa or in Europe and you're in the US, it's such a big distance, right? But it doesn't matter, because for the quantum field, distance is irrelevant. It doesn't exist. And so you can do that way. I don't want to dive too much into that. There's a lot of studies that have been done regarding that. So it's been proven over and over again, even in a double-blind study. So it definitely works. But the other thing that we really discovered just recently, a few weeks ago, and it was the functionality all to begin with, but we had no idea, is that you can write on a piece of paper your full name and your birth date, and maybe write down your birth city or your birth country, but it's usually not even needed. So just the birth date would be fine with your full name. Just make sure you write out your birth date. So if you have April or December, write April or December. Don't put 4 or 12 in there, because that would be unclear. And put it inside. What happens then is it harmonizes your birth date. And
what does that mean?
So what does that mean is that when we're born, usually to more or lesser extent, there are traumas that happen because of the experience at birth. It's not necessarily just a pleasant experience, right? It's physiologically quite an effort for the mother and for the baby, and it comes with a lot of difficulties and with traumas, really, like and those are being harmonized if you put that in the block, which is phenomenal, and it's amazing. And when we noticed that, we suddenly went into testing, and it literally happened over and over again. So that's a neat way how you can leverage it as well. And what's going on now in the Telegram group, because we have like 4,800 members now in the Telegram group, and when they heard about it, of course, now they're all about figuring out what happens with other dates. Let's say, December 21st, 2018, I had a bad car accident.
Yeah.
And it was so overwhelming to me that now I'm always fearful in traffic. Obviously, I had a trauma, but I know the date. I remember when that was. I just couldn't do anything about it. Put those dates in. I'm not saying right now that this will harmonize, but it's actually likely that you can do these things with it. And a lot of people are testing right now to figure these things out.
I'll jump in that beta with you. I've had 8 surgeries and I almost died from 2 of them, so I will definitely put those dates down and see what happens. Quick question that a few people popped up with about the photo. Does it have to be an actual photograph? Can it be a photo on their phone? Does it have to be a printed out? Can it be printed from a regular printer? Is there a way that image needs to be placed inside the block?
Yeah, so it works either way, but we do recommend always to have a printed picture.
Okay.
Because with the phone, it comes with the difficulties that then you have your phone in there with you.
Yeah.
And also, if you want to have your picture in there for longer, then you're at the same time charging the phone for so long. And then especially in the Infinity Bloc, that would not be a good idea because we recommend no longer than 3 minutes cumulative charging of any metal in the Infinity
Mm-hmm.
Bloc. So if you print out your picture, that's the best way to go.
Okay.
And also there we've done quite amazing tests. But if you want to take care of something that's bothering you like today or like nowadays, always
Yeah.
try to use a more current picture. But
Yes.
you can even go in and put a picture of you as a 6-year-old in there and as a 3-year-old, and it'll go through some of the things that happened at the time. It's amazing because so what people need to understand it puts things into balance again, into its optimal state. It helps to put things into optimal state. So if there was a time where everything was off, we had very bad emotions, or something really traumatic happened. I don't know. Both my
Yeah.
parents died and I was 5 years old. They burned in the house. You know, how traumatic is that for a little child? So if
Right.
these things, they get stuck, and it's this big backpack that we
Yes.
then carry all of our lives, and it drags us down. This energy gives us the opportunity to help release and transform these things.
Yes.
And
Yes.
yeah, it's amazing, but that's really how it works. And you can
Yes.
leverage these blocks to access these things and release them quicker.
Yes, and that is just, it's so profound. I mean, I really encourage, and you guys, this will obviously be, posted. We're going to clean it up, and this will be shared in the Telegram group, which I encourage you to join, and then also on our channels, and Leela's channels. So I would watch this a couple times because even for me, every time I hear something, I think of another idea, another way to use it, and it's a resource that we haven't we haven't had, and people just they don't know of it. So share this with your friends. Just think about, we know what somatic work is. We know how trauma can stay in our body and our soul body, our energetic body, and these are ways we can help ourselves and help the ones we love release that, and to support them and to nourish that. And Erica, text me later. I know that that's something that you're interested in. We can put a date in there for you. But this has been amazing, and I'm super excited to dive into the other products as well. And you guys, if you have questions, send them in advance. I usually don't get these questions until like the day of, or right before, but send them in advance, and I'll have a whole list of it, or throw them into the Telegram group. I know more and more questions will come up, but I'm really excited, and I'm excited to talk more about the other products as well. And I know we're coming up to time. And if there's anything else that you guys want to have answered, go ahead and throw it into the chat right now. Or Philipp, is there anything that you want to add before we sort of like wrap up on the blocks today?
No, I think it was a lot of information. And again, if you have any further questions or ideas, etc., feel free to join the Telegram group. It's a wonderful group of people, and everybody's welcoming, and there's no dumb question. As a matter of fact, the group lives from questions, and it doesn't matter even if the question is answered the 40th time, because a year ago someone may have had the same question. It doesn't matter. There are always some people that may have exactly the same question you have, and then someone will be there to answer them. And if there's no one that answers them, ultimately I'll answer it. So
Yeah. And a lot of people are asking what the Telegram group is. If you go to the pinned comment that I have here, you have Leela Quantum's Instagram account. Go to their profile, link in bio. It's got all the information. It's also on my account as well. So if you go to our post, you'll see the link for the Telegram chat, and just all the information to our past lives, IG lives, our past interviews, and all the information is on my account as well. If you go to my link in bio, Leela's there. They're one of our very special profound partners. And you can also send me a DM. I'm happy to answer it. So
and by the way, I want to say something. Like, I'm still new to IG lives. Like, you know, I really haven't done many IG lives in my life, but it's a lot of fun. And I want to say thanks to everyone here. I haven't been able to look at all the comments here all the time because it's hard to do all these things at the same time, but I've seen a lot of the comments and wanted to thank you guys for listening and to also commenting. So that's definitely great.
Yes, no, thank you guys so much. And that's not your job. It's my job to look at all the comments and check for questions. It's your job just to like chat and be brilliant and share all the knowledge. And I agree, you know, thank you guys so much. It's Memorial Day here. I don't know how many of you are in the States, but I know it's a beautiful day, and so appreciate you guys joining here and so much. And thank you for all the love and support. I'm just so excited for more and more people to learn about this and share, because it's, you know, as we help others, we're helping ourselves and vice versa, and just really, really dive into it. It's I don't want to say it's magical, but it's my language, so it's pretty magical. And thank you, Philip, for jumping on today. I can't wait to chat. I can't wait for our next one, and just really excited to be doing this with you, and excited for everyone on here. So thank you. And I guess I'll talk to you guys really soon. Have a beautiful rest of your day. All right.
Sounds
Bye,
great.
guys.
You too. Bye,
Okay.
everyone.
Bye.